Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road with the new hybrid powertrain. Now, before we get into this video, I want to mention a few things. So first off, huge shout out and thank you to the Brent Brown Toyota here in Orem for giving me some time with this Tacoma. Link to their website in the description down below. Ask for Easton if you have any questions. And then I want you guys to let me know what vehicles you want me to compare the hybrid Tacoma to. I'm not sure exactly how long they will have this for, but there is a Nissan dealer nearby, there's a Ford dealer nearby, there's also a Chevy dealer as well. So if you want me to compare this to any of those manufacturers when it comes to like the Frontier, the Colorado, the Ranger, just let me know in the comment section below which one you want to see most. And with that being said, let's get into the video. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2.4 liter 4-cylinder hybrid that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 22 around town and then 24 on the highway, with power outputs being 326 horsepower and then 465 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So this one is a TRD off-road package and finished in solar octane, so it's super bright orange. But just go over some key details. The new headlights I think look pretty cool. You can see the fog lights down below. Now normally the TRD off-roads don't have an air dam. With the hybrid, it comes with the air dam. This is something you can remove. Obviously that would help out the approach angle and frankly the looks, but that's one of the ways you get the better fuel economy is having the air dam. Now the TRD off-road also comes with these all-terrain tires, not the most aggressive on the planet. Again, tires are one of the easiest changes you can make to a vehicle. And then you got the unpainted fender flares, which I'm a huge fan of. I-Force Max here on this side with the badging. And here's the side profile of the truck. Really cool stance, if you ask me. And being a TRD off-road, we've got the Bilstein shocks. You've got the coil springs in the back. You see TRD off-road here. And this one's got some pretty nice options. So we've got the composite bed here, power outlet there on the other side as well. And the tailgate's really easy to lift up to the rest of the rear. And the hybrid has the same dangly exhaust tip, so they haven't changed that whatsoever. And popping inside, what I want to show is not the door panel, but the seat. It looks like just like the Tundra. They've got the battery set underneath the seat. You can't use that as storage. I don't know if it goes all the way across. If you guys could clarify that in the comment section, that would be really helpful to people that are wondering on that side of things. And then popping up front, being a TRD, you've got some nice like soft touch trim here. You can see the TRD logo. See what the payload is on this. So still 1,200 pounds, so you don't lose any payload with the hybrid. Interesting. And this one's got the cloth interior. And then you can see for the auxiliary items, if you want to add those. And let's quickly pop in so you can see the gauge cluster. Notice it lets you know what's the stated charge for the battery right there. It's not a plug-in hybrid, it's just traditional, but still they let you know that information. And then being a TRD off-road, we do have a rear locking differential. We've got all of our drive mode selects here with our drive line as well. Here's a closer look at that to change. And then it's a regular backup camera with this one. It does have a sunroof, funny enough, and then power sliding window, which is pretty cool. And here is our window sticker. So we've got quite a bit of standard equipment. You can see the base MSRP right there, but then we've got some options added to this. And there's our total MSRP, so $54,904. So, I mean, TRD off-road, without the hybrid, you're still like 52. So this is a little bit more expensive, but it's not way more expensive than a non-hybrid. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood. Both the mirrors do a blind spot monitoring throughout the rest of the rear. And hybrid away. This is unique in the segment, and that's why I'm interested to hear what you guys want to see this compared against. The one that I think that would probably be the most interesting would be the Colorado, and the reason I think that is the fact that the power outputs are very similar, right? That has a 2.7 4-cylinder turbo non-hybrid. Oh my goodness, that is a cool looking Land Cruiser. Anywho, non-hybrid, but 310 horsepower, 430 for the torque. And so it's, yeah, I don't know, it's similar in power outputs, but then it's non-hybrid, so I don't know, I think it'd be a fun comparison. And then, you know, Ford still hasn't released any of those Rangers with the 2.7 V6. I still haven't seen a single one at a dealership. That would be a good comparison, but it doesn't exist yet, at least not here in Utah. Now, the new Tacoma TRD Off-Road. It's more luxe than before. Again, when you switch from leaf springs to a multi-link setup, you know, that's always going to lead to kind of a more comfortable drive. But, you know, with Toyota's new body-on-frame product, what I've noticed, because I've reviewed a bunch of them, and I've also lived with several of them for a week, they're a lot less floaty than the old Toyotas. And what I mean by that is they've tightened everything up, it seems like, with the chassis, with the suspension, to make it drive, it still drives like a body-on-frame vehicle, but to make it more like unibody, which, again, most people drive these on-road, they don't take them off-road, and so it kind of makes sense. So it's just an interesting thing that has happened with these modern Toyotas. But aside from that, seats are pretty comfortable. The soft tech seats are, you know, a little bit more comfy than these cloth ones, but the cloth ones are good enough, and the bolstering's great. It's wide enough so if you're a big person, you can still fit, but then it's narrow enough to where you're not sliding all over the place. So you kind of get the best of both in a way. I will say, I love this hybrid powertrain. It's so smooth with the power delivery. And I mean, compared to the previous-gen Tacoma, you get no gear hunting. And the low-end torque is what I like the most. But, I mean, this does have... you step on it, and it'll get the traction control light to flash. It's got some power. But the nice thing is just the low end. Like, as you're driving around town, and I've seen videos of this powertrain off-road. I haven't been able to take this powertrain off-road myself yet, but I've seen the videos, and it's really cool to see how it kind of can, not quite just idle up stuff, but it does a really good job. It's quite impressive, if you ask me. So that's kind of the benefits of hybrids, especially since we're going to like this small displacement turbocharged world. A hybrid system really benefits that, because turbos, right, you got a little bit of turbo lag. This, you don't really get that, because you've got the electric side of things giving you instant power, and then by the time that starts to fade, well, you're into the turbos at that point. Something to note, because of that setup, it doesn't feel quite as I would say quite as powerful as the horsepower might suggest. That would be the best way for me to put it. So, to sum things up with the hybrid Tacoma, I've driven the TRD Pro version, and now I've driven the TRD Off-Road. It's a really cool powertrain. Is it worth the extra money? Well, I mean, that's always a tough question. My personal take is I would get it, but, you know, in my mind, you know, an extra, I think it's like $2,000. When you're already spending $50-something thousand on a truck, it's like, oh, I'll spend the extra $2,000 and get more power, better fuel economy. But for some people, you know, that might not, the math might not math. I think if you're trying to save money, like you're going, oh, I'll spend the extra money and then I'll save that in fuel, I don't think the math is going to be in your favor from that perspective. But I think if you're looking at it from the perspective of it's just a little bit more money, and in spending a little bit more money, I get a much better driving experience, and then I think it works. I think the maths at that point. So let me know what you think about the hybrid, and let me know what comparisons you want to see with the hybrid. And I love that, I wish you showed on camera, I love that bronze color on the Tacoma, the new Tacoma. I think that's my favorite color, is that bronze. I like this orange too.